Hey there and welcome to Breakfast with Mark Daniels for Wednesday, February 26th, 2020. Weather for Long Island for the next couple of days. Well, today we're above normal again. Tomorrow we'll also be above normal. Temperatures 45 to 50. Nighttime lows about 42. We start getting cold on Thursday night with a low of 26. And then by Friday, temperatures about where they should be this time of year. High in the upper 30s. Nighttime lows in the low to mid 20s. Today is Ash Wednesday, which signals the start of the Lenten season for Christians, and it takes place 46 days before Easter. And the question's always raised, so, what are you giving up for Lent? And as a kid, I had all the typical answers, like ice cream, giving up my messy room, which meant I'd clean it more than once a month, and maybe not going out to eat. But I found a website called yourmodernfamily.com, and they give about 10 out-of-the-box ideas for Lent. And it's not just about giving up your favorite dessert. And here's just a couple of them. Don't buy anything that you don't need. I guess we're giving up on splurging. They say give it up for Lent. Put the money that you would have spent into a jar, and you'll be surprised in how quickly you build up your savings. Okay, I like that. At least I could still have my chocolate pudding. Throw away 40 things for 40 days. Every day you walk around the house, you collect 40 things to donate or throw away every day until Lent ends. I mean, it's a twofold process here. You're donating, helping others, and at the same time, you're decluttering your house. I like that too. 40 days of home organization. I like that as well. And if it takes the season of Lent to get me organized, I'm all in. Here's a good one. No gossiping. That means you can't do any gossiping. None. Nada. Zero. If somebody says something negative about another person, either you say something nice or don't say anything at all. Here's something else. Work out daily and take care of your body. Okay, enough said on that. Self-explanatory. And one or two others. Don't eat after dinner and give up soda for Lent. Wait, here's one more. Say 3 nice things to your spouse and to your kids every single day. So these aren't just about quitting things, maybe becoming more aware of some of the good things that you could do for yourself and your family and friends during Lent. Today is also National Pistachio Day, and I have 2 reasons bringing that up. Number 1 is I love pistachios, no matter how you slice it. I could go through a bag in, an hour. And number 2, whatever happened to all of those pistachios that used to be dyed red? Do you remember eating like a bag of pistachios and all of your fingers had all of that red dye all over them? Do they even make those anymore? I have not seen those in, I guess, years. Anyway, I hope you enjoy a bag of non-dyed pistachio nuts today. And finally, today is National Tell a Fairy Tale Day. Hopefully, you'll engage your kids and tell them a fairy tale at some point today, and you'll have a happily ever after kind of day. So, starting March the 1st, there will be a plastic bag ban. Gone will be the option to pay that additional 5 cents per single-use plastic bag. They're out of here. They're completely done in Nassau and Suffolk County and New York statewide. It's definitely a complicated situation. There are people for it and there are people against it. And if I'm reading it correctly, the new law exempts trash bags, garment bags used by dry cleaners, storage bags, bags used at grocery stores for produce and uncooked meat and fish, bags to carry prescription drugs, and bags used by restaurants for carryout or food delivery. What it basically comes down to is that you're not going to be using those single-use plastic bags at the grocery store to carry your weekly groceries out and into the car with. There is an option for paper. In Nassau County, you don't have to pay the 5-cent fee. In Suffolk County, there will be 5 cents per bag, just as it was with the plastic bags. Some things to consider. And that would be a company like Polypack Industries in Melville. About 300 employees will probably lose their jobs. And then on the other hand, it's the environment. Do we keep putting 23 billion plastic bags into the landfills every year just in New York State? I think you'd agree that both unemployment and the environment are very important situations to consider. Companies that are making the paper well for obvious reasons. I do remember as a kid taking home a few extra paper bags just to cover my school books in September. They made for great book covers. Plastic bags, no, not the same. And something else to consider when it comes to those paper bags, it costs lots of trees and lots of water to manufacture them, which was probably the original reason that we went to plastic. They were just cheaper to manufacture. So when it comes right down to it, environmentalists say that the law is a win. Retailers say that replacing plastic with paper will probably strain their already tight budgets, as these paper bags will cost about 4 times more than those single-use plastic bags. And shoppers say, all right, well, it's a bit of an inconvenience that you have to remember to bring your reusable bag with you when you go to the grocery store every single time. But I guess I kind of liken it to any other law where our behavior has to change. I guess if you think about what we touched on, the other day on Breakfast with Mark Daniels, the smoking ban. First, you could smoke anywhere. Then you could smoke in certain spaces. And then there was no smoking at all, not even outside in public places. Then there was the seatbelt law, where as a kid, I could ride around in my parents' station wagon in the back as they're cruising down Sunrise Highway or the Meadowbrook Parkway at 60 miles an hour and not have anything to keep me confined to the car. Then car companies were required to provide seatbelts for every seat in the vehicle. And we were required to use them as well, which was also an inconvenience of sorts. Now, though, it's much more automatic. And finally, use of a cell phone in a vehicle. Remember when you used to be able to use your phone by holding it up to your ear while the other hand grabbed the steering wheel and tried to navigate you wherever you were going? Well, we learned that wasn't really good for us, so now it's a hands-free operation only. Took us a long time to get out of the habit of using a cell phone with one hand and steering with the other, but we got used to it. A lot of people balked about it, but now it's become commonplace, and obviously it's the law with heavy fines. So what I'd like you to do is speak out on behalf of the single-use plastic bag ban. How do you feel about it? Are you going to opt for paper, or maybe bring your own bags? I'd like to share your comments on tomorrow's show. You can comment on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube, or even send me an email to breakfastwithmarkdaniels@gmail.com. And now on to people who have changed your life. Perhaps this person could very well have been a mentor. And for me, in this case, he was. I really enjoy going through the Facebook pages that refer to Long Island in some way, shape, or form. And this Facebook page is Long Island Childhood Memories. So I subscribe to it, because I got a lot of Long Island childhood memories, and I found a post that really caught my eye. And the post read, "Who remembers Klein till 9 and again till 10? And it really stopped me in my tracks. Somebody responded, "No one." And then someone else responded, "I remember." And that was it. And quite honestly, after reading those 2 posts, I was really disappointed, because I know exactly who Klein till 9 and again till 10 is. His name is Bob Klein. Bob used to do the morning show at one Long Island radio station until 9 a.m., and then he'd get in his car and drive out to Riverhead to do his second radio show until 10. Thus the name Klein till 9 and again till 10. Bob was an incredible radio talent, an incredible person, and an incredible mentor, and a great friend to me. I started working at the radio station with Bob Klein in 1986. He was doing mornings solo, and I was doing afternoons solo. And it came a time where the company thought it would be a good fit to put the 2 of us together in the morning and find somebody else to do the afternoon show, which we did. The thing that amazed me most, or maybe just one of the things that amazed me about Bob Klein, was his magnetic personality, that he always made you feel comfortable when talking to him, that you were the star of the conversation. He always made you feel welcome, and that always translated into his on-air delivery, which made him so successful. And by the way, Bob always had something to say about everything. I don't think there was a subject that we covered on the air or off the air that Bob could not elaborate 10 or 15 minutes on. And what Bob said was not a bunch of bull. And I thought this was quite a gift. Now, when I started out in radio, and this is also true today, I'm not all that comfortable about getting up in front of a group of people and speaking. Sitting in a studio and addressing a crowd of, let's say, 60,000 people listening to you on the air is a lot easier than standing up in front of a group of people, say 20 or 30, and addressing them. The second, a lot more stressful. I would watch Bob at Christmas tree lighting ceremonies, at concerts, at any other public event, and watch him mesmerize a crowd, how he could actually be part of who they were and really be part of the event, and never showed signs of a sweat. He was just so incredibly comfortable. Me, on the other hand, I was a nervous wreck. Bob was a lot older than me and had tremendous amount of experience, including some of his family being involved in vaudeville. And another thing to note about Bob, he was genuine. No phony baloney, on the air or off the air. So for the several years that I watched Bob behind the mic and in front of a crowd, I learned a lot. It's not like we sat down and had, okay, lesson number 1, here's how to speak to a crowd. No, it wasn't that at all. Just watching him and learning from how he expressed himself, not only on the air, but as I said publicly, really changed my life. And I know one thing is for certain, that if I had not had the opportunity to work with Bob Klein, I would be a lot different today. And just a couple of quick side notes here. Things were not always rosy between Bob and me. I mean, you had two creative people going at it head-to-head every single morning, so there had to be a little bit of conflict, but it always worked itself out in the end, and we were always able to produce a great, fun morning show. And the other thing was, Bob used to refer to his first wife. Whenever he'd talk about his marriage, he'd say, well, my first wife did it this way. Bob only had one wife, but he made you think that he had a previous wife, which he never did. I don't know if that's ever been brought out anywhere, but you're hearing it here, maybe first on Breakfast with Mark Daniels. Bob retired to Florida after he left the radio station, and he passed away at the age of 92. And I absolutely miss him, both professionally and personally. But I'm absolutely thankful for all he gave me along the way. So as an answer to that post on Facebook, does anybody remember Klein till 9 and again till 10? Well, I absolutely do. And I wondered if there's anybody in your life that influenced you as much as Bob Klein influenced me. I'd love to read your comments on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or send me an email to breakfastwithmarkdaniels@gmail.com. And that'll do it for this episode of Breakfast with Mark Daniels. Thank you for listening today, and I hope you listen tomorrow. You can hear Breakfast with Mark Daniels on Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Alexa, Buzzsprout.com, and any site supporting podcasts. Yeah, we're on everywhere. Email is the easiest way to get in touch with me, breakfastwithmarkdaniels@gmail.com. Share, like, help us grow. Appreciate it. Have a great Wednesday, and we'll see you back here for Breakfast with Mark Daniels.